Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Nick Cosgrove, and I am back with my coaching reality series called From a Coach's Perspective. Today, I want to provide you with 5 tips that I use and that I recommend to my clients to help break bad habits with their workouts and with their diet. Now, let's face it, we all have bad habits, right? But when it comes to getting in regular exercise and following a clean, whole foods diet, most of us struggle to stay regimented and stay consistent with both. All right. It's very easy to skip one workout that turns into 1 week of workouts, that turns into 1 month of workouts. It's very easy to cheat on your diet and have one bad meal that can turn into a whole cheat day, that can turn into a whole cheat week. All right. So, what I want to do today is provide you with strategies that I incorporate myself and that I utilize with my own clients to help break these bad habits. And a lot of these habits are pretty common, right? And if you always have to think, and one thing I always try to say to my clients is that it takes 21 days to develop a habit, right? And that's not something that I made up. That's actually a very common saying. And I truly believe it does take about 3 weeks to follow, to incorporate a good habit into your daily life structure. And now the thing is, though, during those first 3 weeks, it's going to be hard. If you're someone who cheats on your diet quite often, you eat a lot of takeout, you're a sugar addict, it's going to be hard to just do a 180 and eat all clean food, right? Same thing, if you're someone who doesn't like going to the gym, it's going to be really hard all of a sudden to start going to the gym 3, 5 times a week. So, what I want to do today is I want to provide you with some strategic options that I recommend to people in order to help get them on track with their diet and their training and their supplementation. All right. So, listen off with number one way to break a bad habit with your diet and training. Stop relying on willpower. All right. Now, willpower is unreliable. It's very hard to stay disciplined with your diet if you have a bunch of junk food in the house. So if you come home from a long day of work, you're stressed, you're tired, you don't feel like cooking, and you have all these unhealthy options around you, box of cookies in the cupboard, ice cream in the freezer, maybe leftover pizza in the fridge. It's very easy to just grab these things and snack mindlessly, right? And you're sabotaging your diet. And not only that, but you're going to most likely feel like crap the next day. It's like a food hangover, right? So you want to eliminate temptations. So what I always tell my clients is get rid of the junk food. You don't want to have junk food in the house. Replace the junk food with cleaner options. Put some fruit, put some vegetables in there. Get some healthy foods that you actually enjoy so that when you do come home and that you are tired, that you can easily just grab something and eat it and not feel bad about it. And you'll feel good. You'll sleep better, right? You're not going to sleep good if you have a bunch of sugar before you go to bed, right? So that's one way to, make sure that you're not relying on willpower when you come home and there's bad foods in your house. So that's one way to stay disciplined with your diet. As far as your training is concerned, my recommendation for those of you that struggle to go to the gym, I have a lot of people that I work with online that they tell me, after a long day of work, I just can't go to the gym." I'm like, well, go to the gym before you go to work. Wake up an hour earlier. Because yeah, a lot of people do feel tired at the end. I'm tired at the end of the day. The last thing I want to do at 6:30 at night is work out. Sometimes I have to, but I don't want to. So I try to get my workout in earlier in the day. That works for me. So if you're someone that struggles to get your workout in at the end of the day, go before work, pack a bag, make sure you have your shoes, your gym attire all ready, your post-workout meal, your pre-workout meal, you have it packed and ready to go. So you want to put yourself in the best position possible in order to succeed with both your diet and your training. And if you're constantly relying on willpower and saying, well, you know, as tired as I'm going to be after work, I'm going to force myself to go to the gym. That might work for some people, but for more people, it does not work. And it's much easier to go, I'll go tomorrow. Or, you know what, I didn't go this week. I'll just go next week. Okay. Or my colleagues are going out for a few drinks. I want to go with them. All right. So you have a way to talk yourself out of things. So you want to put yourself in the best position possible. And in my opinion, it's good to kind of change up your daily habits. And if you are someone who struggles, like I said, to get your workout in at the end of the day, plug that workout at the beginning of the day. Yes, you're going to have to wake up an hour earlier. So what? Do it. Okay. Because if you know that you're not going to make that workout, replace it, put it in the morning. If you know you're going to cheat on your diet when you're at home, you're alone, you're watching TV or with your partner, eliminate those bad options, put in healthy options. All right. Stop relying on willpower. Willpower is unreliable. All right. My second tip to help break your bad habits with your diet and your training, identify what triggers the bad habit. So, a lot of people stress eat. Okay. Very common. There's a lot of emotional eaters out there. Some people overeat when they're stressed. Some people don't eat at all when they're stressed. And you have to find out what is causing the stress. Is it work? Is it your personal life? Maybe you're in an unhealthy relationship. Maybe you're just unhappy with your job. Maybe it's an issue with your family. Whatever it is, you have to identify that trigger. And knowing that that trigger is going to continuously come up, you yourself have to find a healthier way to deal with it. All right. So, for example, if that trigger is causing you to miss your workouts or to constantly order from Uber Eats and make bad choices with your diet, rather than scold yourself and, punish yourself for doing these things, try to figure out ways that you can prepare yourself for these stresses. If you have stresses of your career, there's a good chance those stresses are going to continuously come up, right? Especially if you have a very stressful job, like say you're a lawyer, doctor, whatever it is, you're running a small business, those stresses will always be there, right? So you have to find a way to deal with those stresses without turning to those bad habits. So what I typically do when I'm having a stressful day, I actually rely on my workouts to help get me through those stressful moments. So if I'm dealing with like a really stressful day, let's say I'm really busy on the floor and I've got tons of emails and tons of online check-ins to do, I take an hour, plug in my earphones, do my workout, and all that stress goes away. That's what works for me. Okay. For you, it might just be meditating, right? Could be yoga, right? Could be having a relaxing bath. Whatever it is, you have to find something that's going to calm you and relax you so that you don't rely on, oh, I'm just going to go to the bar and have a few drinks, right? Or, yeah, you know what? I'm going to miss my workout today because I'm just too stressed to deal with this right now. So rather than look for those unhealthy crutches, substitute them for healthier crutches. Go for a massage, right? Rather than going to the bar with a few friends after work, maybe go book yourself a massage. Much healthier option, right? So, or watch a movie with your partner. Watch, go to a movie. No one goes to movies anymore. But find something that's going to relax you that you can actually use to just keep your stress levels down. Because I always tell this to clients, if your cortisol levels are high, it's very hard to lose weight. Okay. It's very hard to build muscle. Your body is in a constant state of stress. So remember that. We don't want the body to be in a constant state of stress. And I understand stresses come up in life. But in my opinion, the best way to deal with those stresses is by finding healthier crutches to help deal with them. For me, it's working out. For someone else, it might be going for a massage or going for a walk, okay, playing some video games, watching a movie, whatever it is. Find a way to bring those cortisol levels down so that you are going to relax a little bit more. And when you're more at peace, I find, as cringy as it sounds, when you're more at peace with yourself, it's easier to take on those tasks like going to the gym or following a clean, nutritious diet. Okay. It's not overwhelming. All right. And the bad cycle doesn't repeat itself by following those bad habits. Okay. And the third tip I have to help break bad habits of your diet and training: replace the bad habit instead of just trying to eliminate it. So I talked about that just now, right? So rather than say, well, you know, I, I just, I always, at 5 p.m., my goal is to go to the gym after work, but I never go. Rather than say, well, now I'm going to go. That's probably not going to happen, right? But you could do something else. So if you're someone who says, yeah, I just never go to the gym, like I said, after, 5 p.m. after work, no problem, put your workout in the morning. But now you've got all that free time after work. So replace that. Maybe instead of going directly home, you go for a walk. Maybe you walk home from work. Say you always drive to work, you live 30 minutes away from your work, walk home, right? That could be a new habit that you start to form. It doesn't have to be every day. Maybe you pick 3 times a week to do it. I have a client that's doing that right now. She walks to and from work 3 times a week. She's already lost 20 pounds just by doing that. All right. So it's not necessarily because of she wants to lose weight, she's doing it. It's just more of like, hey, this is breaking up my routine and I'm getting exercise at the same time. So that could be a healthier option rather than just going directly home and putting yourself on the couch, right? So you want to find the bad habits that you're doing that are creating this vicious cycle over and over again and replace them with good habits, right? I have some people that towards the end of the day when they're at home, they tend to binge eat, they tend to snack. I say, well, okay, I don't want you to take away food completely. I'm not going to say just lock up the fridge for the night and that's it, because you're already in this habit. It's very relaxing for you. You're watching a movie and maybe you like to have some popcorn. Still relax, watch the movie, but let's trade in that popcorn. Why don't we try like a protein shake, right? I know it's not going to be the exact same. Maybe throw in some almonds. I know it's not going to be the exact same, but if you start doing that for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 21 days, that becomes your new habit. All right. So try replacing the bad habits with good habits. And like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. It's very hard to do this. I understand that. It's very hard to build good habits. And it's very hard to eliminate bad habits. And it's really hard to eliminate the bad habits and replace them with the good habits. But if you just practice a little bit of discipline and self-control, okay, I truly believe that anyone can overcome any of these obstacles in life. I really do. Okay. But it all starts up here. So you have to stop relying on willpower, on motivation, and start focusing more on the consistency and the discipline needed in order to not just create those good habits, but make sure that you follow through on them. All right. And my fourth tip for breaking bad habits of your diet and your training, stop letting one bad decision become a bad week. I talked about this a few weeks ago on the Coaching Reality about how a lot of people they will self-sabotage themselves, whether it's with their diet or whether it's with their workouts. I have people that will have one cheat meal that turns into one cheat day, and that cheat day turns into a cheat week, and they fall completely off their diet, and then they'll email me and say, "No, I just can't do this right now. Life is too stressful." Life is always going to be stressful. There's never going to be the perfect time to start on your diet or your training. There won't be because there's always going to be something that comes up. Okay. So it's how you handle it. And that's what matters. So what are you going to do? Okay. You're going to be strategic. Sorry, my alarm's going off again. So just because you had, let's say, one bad meal, you went out to a restaurant, you had to go out to a restaurant because you were having a work meeting. And that one bad meal, you're like, what's the point of even going to the gym today? I already cheated on my diet. I might as well just go home and I'm going to order from Uber Eats. You can't think like that. You think it's one meal or it's one missed workout. That's not going to impact your results on the scale. It's not going to impact your results with your physique. It's not going to impact your results with your performance in the gym. But it's when that one cheat meal turns into one cheat day, one cheat week, one cheat month. It's when that one missed workout turns into a week of missed workouts, 2 weeks of missed workouts, a month of missed workouts. Now we're going to have problems. Okay. Now the scale is going to go in a direction you don't want it to go in. Now your physique is going to start to go in a direction that you don't want to go in. Your performance in the gym is going to go down. Your sleep quality is going to suck. All right. So rather than focus on that one cheat meal or that one missed workout and I'll start again next week, that mindset has to shift. And it took me a while to do that myself because when I first started like bodybuilding, everything had to be perfect. The workouts had to be perfect, the diets had to be perfect. And it wasn't until my business started to get bigger and bigger and bigger and I got busier that I'm like, well, my workouts aren't always going to be perfect. Sometimes my workouts are 35 minutes long because I'm packed, I'm busy all day, and my business takes priority because that's my livelihood. So I'm still going to get a workout in because that's also a priority, but at the same time, that's going to take a back seat to my business. But I'm still going to make sure I make time for my workout. But it's not going to be my hour and a half workout and have my nice post-workout meal and my pre-workout meal and my shower. No, that doesn't happen. Sometimes shit hits the fan. So I might only get in a 35-minute workout. Still workout. Sometimes my diet's not perfect. I try to make sure most of my meals, as I talked about in the no filter Q&A earlier this week, most of my meals are portioned out accordingly. But sometimes I do have to order out because I am busy. Sometimes I have to go and grab a sandwich because I am busy and I didn't prep enough food. But I'm not like, oh crap. Well, I cheated on my diet today. I had a Subway sandwich. I never eat Subway sandwich, for an example. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, now tonight when I go home, I'm just going to order pizza. No, I'm like, that was one meal. So what? My mindset shifts to I'm going to utilize those calories for my next workout. Okay. Or maybe because I overate on one meal, I'm going to skip a meal. All right. So I find a way to implement it into my day-to-day life. I don't get focused on that one bad meal or that one missed workout because when you start to do that, you're going to sabotage your own results with your training, with your diet, and with your physique. Right. So just remember that. Don't let one bad meal or one missed workout ruin a whole week, a whole month, or a whole year of your progress by falling off the wagon. All right. And my fifth and final tip to help break bad habits with your diet and your training, create accountability until the new habit becomes normal. One of the number one reasons that people hire personal trainers is for the accountability factor, right? If you know that you have a hard time getting to the gym, you're only doing yourself a disservice by not hiring a coach, especially if you're someone who is just like, no matter what you do, you can't force yourself to go to the gym. It's like, I don't want to go to the gym. It's too busy. It's too crowded. I don't know what I'm going to do. Listen, when you hire a coach or a trainer, you've paid for that session. That in itself is going to hold you accountable. Okay. And if the money doesn't hold you accountable for missing that missed session, and you've already put money towards that session, if that doesn't hold you accountable, it's knowing that you've made an appointment with someone who's actually giving you their time. Okay. I have a lot of clients that it's not about the money. I have a lot of clients that have endless amounts of money. It's not about, if they miss a workout, they're not worried about the money. They're more concerned that they wasted my time, which I always tell them, look, it's your time. You're not wasting my time. But at the same time, they feel bad because like, well, you could have filled that time up, which is true. There's times where I'll get up to at 5 in the morning to train someone at 6 a.m. and they don't show up. They slept in, they missed their workout. They feel bad. But they feel bad because I came to the gym for them, right? But at the same time, it helps hold them accountable for like, okay, next time I'm not going to let that happen again because I've made that appointment with Nick. Okay. And I respect Nick's time. I respect Nick as a person. I'm going to try my best to be there. Okay. So if you know that you are not disciplined with your training, hire a coach. The same thing with your diet. I have so many people that are working with me on their nutrition plans for 20 plus years. They know how to eat. Okay. They know what to do. You would hope after 2 decades of working with me on their nutrition plans, they know what to do. But the problem with them is that they don't really know when they don't have someone holding them accountable with their weekly check-ins or weekly progress photos, making revisions, rotating their macronutrients, they start to feel a little bit more lost and it's easier to stray away from the diet. So for a lot of people, especially for a lot of people who have unhealthy relationships with food, working with a coach, dietitian, nutritionist who can not only structure a nutrition plan for you that's sustainable, but one that you actually enjoy, that's going to give you a lot of energy. That's not just going to put you on a starvation diet, but one that's going to allow you to perform better in the gym, have more energy, sleep better. That's going to allow you to stay a little bit more disciplined with your nutritional plan. So if you know that you lack that accountability, hire a coach, hire a trainer, at least until you get in the habits of doing it yourself. I've had people come to work with me for 3 months. And then they go off on their own and they do the workouts that I've given to them. They work with me online and they come back and work with me again in person. And that's fine. Okay. I have other people who've worked with me for 20 plus years, as I mentioned, both in-house and online, who I know for a fact, if I go away for a week or if I'm sick, they're not going to go to the gym. And that's fine too. They know that. They're like, no, I have no accountability on my own. That's why I need you. That's why I'm paying you. I need you as my coach. And that's why people have coaches and trainers. So you just have to understand your personality trait. It doesn't make you a weaker person because you struggle to get in your workouts on your own. If it did, I wouldn't have a job. All right. A lot of people, they understand that, hey, the gym is not for me. Healthy, clean eating, I don't like it. I need someone to hold me accountable, keep me on track. I'm busy running businesses here. I don't have time for this. I just need someone to tell me what to do when I go to the gym, holds me accountable when I get there, has my workout set up for me, gives me a structured nutritional plan to follow, and I can just boom, boom, boom. And I can focus on what's important to me in my life, whether it's my family, my business, combination of the two. Okay, so a lot of people who hire personal trainers do that for that reason. Right. So if you know you struggle with the accountability factor and you're continuously making these bad habits, skipping your workouts, cheating on your diet, hire a trainer, hire a coach. It will be the best investment and the best ROI that you ever achieve with your health and your physique. Anyway, that's it for this week's Coaching Reality episode. This episode will be going up on Wednesday, August the 26th. As a reminder, if you have any questions related to your nutritional plan, workout program, supplements you are currently taking, not taking, or considering taking, please feel free to email me at nick@foreverfitperformance.com or you can DM me on my Instagram at fitcosgrove_. Wait, thank you all for watching. Thank you for supporting the YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really means a lot. Your support allows me to create more content on a regular basis. Anyway, I will see you all next week for the no filter Q&A. And don't forget to check out my YouTube shorts that drop on a daily basis. Thank you all once again, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now.